Hi and welcome again, this time with the August video. You can see over here that there is still some plants left in the garden. What we have over here is few tomatoes and basil plants. Most of the tomato plants are already done by this time, and those are the few ones that are still standing. They are more in the shade and have a little bit more water than the other ones. So let's see what else is in the garden. Other than the tomato plants, I have pumpkin that sprouted from the seed on its own from the compost pile, together with a beautiful pepper plant that you see here in front. So the one with the long, narrow leaves, that's the pepper plant. It has a little bit of fruits and some flowers. Behind it, you can see the glorious pumpkin. It did not yield any fruit at this point. However, the leaves were very decorative and beautiful. And the last thing over here, you can see one more pepper plant that sprouted on its own in the middle of nowhere. And it's doing quite well. The general action plan is that whatever can decompose, like leaves and grass and whatever, let's call them soft parts, whatever can decompose goes to the compost pile. However, all the stems and the hard parts of the plants, like the tomato stems, they will not decompose so easily. They will stay in the compost and then I have to dig them out and it's disgusting and slimy. So instead of putting myself into this kind of situation, I'd rather gather all of them and burn them when it is allowed. It is not allowed to burn fires until November, I believe. What you can see over here is me working on removing the tomato plants. This is the bistecca variety, the Italian variety. Since the Italian climate is very similar to what we have over here, those plants were doing amazing. And added benefit was the shading, which now I've taken down. It's no longer there, but the shading protected the leaves from the burning heat. So the plants did amazingly. They were the last ones to stay in the garden and stay in a tomato resembling shape. However, everything has to go now that the heat is getting less and less. It's the sure sign that the autumn is coming and we will have to prepare the garden for the winter crops. So even though with a bit of heavy heart, I gotta remove all the tomatoes and all the other weeds from around. And yeah, let me leave you here to enjoy the sounds of crickets and enjoy the sight of me working in the horrible heat. Over here, I wanted to show you the longest tomato I've managed to grow this season. This is the variety called Noir de Crimée, the black tomatoes, the kind of medium-sized little black balls. It grew amazingly well. I think it must be at least 3 meters long, at least 3 meters. So this is it, grown very well, the black variety. You can see that I left some plants over there and over there. They are still producing fruit, so I will keep them, see what more we can harvest, and they are kind of on the edge, so they will not get in the way, I hope. The last step for now is removing the sticks and supports that I had for the tomato plants. They will be recycled, they will be reused in the next season. The winter crops don't need those, so they have to go. And after the hot afternoon working in the garden, there is one more thing left to do, which is watering the seedlings. As you can see, some of them are sprouting well, some of them don't. Um, doesn't matter, whatever sprouts will be cherished and planted in the garden.
And after a day of gardening, what other thing to do than go to the beach? Well, sit in the rain, apparently. So let me take you on a small retrospection of the lovely first rain we have. End of August and beginning of September is the time when the storms are starting, the rain is coming back, which is very, very good for gardening. So let's enjoy it together.